Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stogie Geek Show, episode 77. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Stogie Geek Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian. Happy to be here in studio and having some special guests on the line. We've got a fantastic show for you tonight. Sitting across from me is none other than the one and the only Stogie Santa.
Good evening, everybody.
On the lines via Skype is Mr. Will Cooper.
Greetings, everybody.
And we've got two very special guests with us from the Cigar Chat and Cigar Federation. Logan and Rob are here. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, so here on the Stogie Geeks crew, we've decided to smoke some añejo. Expert Steve is even here in studio smoking as well.
Wait a minute. What, expert? I thought the name was changed.
Pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
It's
State
a
per view.
choice. It's
Well,
optional.
expert was always in air quotes, so.
No, okay.
Good enough.
So we're smoking añejo, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what Logan and Rob are smoking, but that's fine. You can smoke whatever you want. Not that you needed my permission to do that or anything, but I'm gonna turn it over to the cigar encyclopedia, Mr. Will Cooper, to tell us about the añejo blend, which I'm sure we've talked about before in the past. But why don't you recap it for everyone, Will?
Well, tonight what we're doing is we're actually smoking different sizes of the añejo. And this is a Dominican blend that also features a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. I'm actually smoking the Añejo 49, which is a long Churchill with a 49 ring gauge.
That's the one we had for the party I had in Vegas.
That's the one I sent out.
You know, I haven't smoked. I think I've only smoked the 49 one other time before, and it was a long time ago. So
It's awesome.
yep.
It really is. Of course, I had some Padron 46s that night as well, and I think I opted for the Padron 46. But I did manage to smoke
But those
the
have
49.
some
It's good.
serious age.
And those
You
were
know,
aged. Yeah, the
I know
ones
what-
that I had.
Go
Go ahead, Will.
I know everyone talks shark, but you know, there's really some other good añejo
Oh, I
sizes.
agree with you, Coop. 100%.
Now, see, I lit up the Shark. This one's 2, maybe 3 years old. Judging by the pre-lit aroma coming from the foot, which was fantastic. Smelled kind of like a raisins or prune kind of sweetness to it. And it's got a nice sweetness as well. Kind of that same sweetness as I smoke it. Of course, my first cigar in maybe 12 days. So after
Rookie.
a little
That's
oral surgery.
Yeah.
Surgery.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Wisdom teeth?
Yeah, I had 2 wisdom teeth taken out. So
I had that happen when I was like 17, dude.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
yeah, well, they didn't cause me a problem until recently. So
Okay.
now they won't cause me a problem ever again.
Actually, you were supposed to wait another week to smoke.
I
weren't you?
was supposed to wait till Monday. Thanks for pointing that out, Will.
Dude, dry
It's
sockets
about,
are
he's
painful,
been whining for 2 weeks. I can't smoke.
No, I'm
can't
out of the
smoke.
woods, but
You're such
you know
a
what? I don't
pussy.
want to talk about my medical
Oh,
issues,
God almighty.
especially with you.
Yeah, I know it. Suck it up.
Oh,
More ways than
Exactly.
one.
God. Let's move some of these bottles out of the way of the camera.
yeah, well, it
And what size are you smoking over there, Stoker?
The 46. I
Oh.
love that. That's my favorite one of the bunch.
It's a Corona.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yep.
Mine too.
5 5/8 by 46. It's just, I tell you what, everyone talks about the Shark, rightfully so, because it's, a more limited run. But the 46 to me is the belle of the ball, as Mark Jr. would say.
It really is.
It's phenomenal. I love it.
Now, Logan and Rob, what are you guys smoking?
It's a secret.
We actually happen to be smoking the same thing, and it wasn't.
It wasn't by
really-
design.
It wasn't. No, Logan just wants to be like me. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
Logan doesn't have the
exactly right.
Superman snuggie, though, so.
No,
Yeah.
you got to go with the Snuggie. We're actually smoking a new release from Bodega Cigars. It's a reunion. We're smoking the Aperitivo. I don't know if the camera's up and you guys can see that, but it's a new release from our boy Cigar G and
Company.
and company. Yeah,
Canadian company.
Yeah, indeed. It's rolled by a bunch of Canadians. But yeah, we're smoking this for the first time. We just got them in hand yesterday. So.
And they've joined the House of Emilio. They're the latest, I guess,
Correct.
brand now under Gary's umbrella.
As of IPCPR 2013.
Yep.
Yeah, and this cigar is going to hit the stores. Logan, do we know when? Relatively soon?
Mystery. I don't know. Well, that's the thing, man. When it comes to cigars, it's always hurry up and wait. So I'd like to say next week or the week after, but whenever they'll do, sign up for our email list and you will know promptly.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Logan, since you kind of prepped it there, I'll ask you to go first. Kind of how you got your start in cigars and currently what you're doing in the cigar world right now.
Well, yeah. So, I don't know if I've ever told this story, so I'm going to tell it. So,
yeah, there you go.
So my first start into cigars, I had a girlfriend in college for 2 years, and then same girlfriend for 2 years outside of college.
Now, see, the best story start. There was this girl once.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you
Absolutely.
wouldn't
And I'm not dating or married to her now, so I could tell you some vile stories. But this is a family-friendly show, so I won't do it. But
Okay.
it was my sophomore year. I was in a fraternity in college, and one of the guys down the hall was smoking cigars, and I just mentioned to my girlfriend that, hey, I think I'd like to do that. I smoked a few with the guy, Matt Brown, a couple of times. And next thing I know, on Valentine's Day, she bought me a little desktop humidor and just bought some, random cigars to put into it. And then in college, kind of got into it, not that much because obviously it was on a limited budget, but always on, fraternity nights, pledge night, initiations, always had cigars for all of the guys and stuff. So kind of started there. And then when I got my job at this major Texas technology computer company, I won't say which one, but you can probably figure out by that. We every promotion I've just kind of rewarded myself with a new humidor, more cigars, and then literally probably the last 4 years is when I've gotten really, really, really into it. Starting Cigar Chat with Rob, kind of blogging by myself, which was a freaking nightmare and disaster because anybody who runs their own site by themselves, Coop, Rob, I'm kind of giving you a compliment, sort of, but I'm really giving Coop a compliment, is that running your own site by yourself and keeping it up to date with content, I don't know how you do it. So, kind of joined Cigar Federation last year. For my job, I'm, I guess, a quasi social media consultant for work, and we do some delivery stuff around, social media listing and analytics, and got into Cigar Federation and ran that with Rob for not quite the last year. At IPCPR this year, I was asked to do the social media presentation, which it kind of shocks me, I guess, how little retailers know about social media, but that's probably not.
It's
we
not
don't
news.
have time. We don't have time to discuss that because that could take years to go into the depths of that. But then,
Right.
yeah, I mean, since IPCPR with our Project Manana raffle, we raised over $5,800 for Project Manana and underprivileged kids in the Dominican, to the launch of the store, to getting on AFRN. It's honestly been kind of a whirlwind, man. So it's taken off a lot more than I would have expected. It's been great.
So, Logan, you had a blog before you started Cigar Federation, is that right? And you're kind of
I did.
You're in that consolidation, and Rob, you did as well. Rob, I guess we'll go with Rob next about how you got in your start in cigars and talk about how we ended up where we are today.
Yeah, so I did. It was aptly named Smokin' Logan, and that lasted all of about 6 months because it was just so much work. And then I kind of rode on Rob's coattails for about like a year, probably, just contributing to Rob's site, providing news, doing Cigar Chat, and then fully opened it up with Cigar Federation this year. Mm-hmm. And like early one, I got back from India like Marchish, Aprilish of this year.
Very cool. So what, Rob, you want to just kind of chime in and talk about how you got your start in cigars and stuff?
Yeah, actually, I'd never heard Logan's story. Mine's actually pretty similar. My wife, she does event planning, and she works with a family of high net worth and puts on all these different events for them. And they had this big poker party put together, and they had a cigar roller there. And I guess this company, when they do it, they bring pre-rolled cigars so you can smoke there, but the guy rolls stuff for you and you take it home. And she brought some of them home for me, and I've smoked a few of them. We were 49ers season ticket holders, so smoking them in the parking lot, that kind of thing. And and I really enjoyed it. And that year for Christmas, she just bought me a random desktop humidor with 5 or 6 cigars in it. She had no idea what she was getting herself into.
Yeah, because the next day it was empty.
Well, it went from the 50 count desktop, which you can actually only fit like 30 cigars in, to the entire guest room. So
nice.
So it's.
Do you really? Do you have a walk-in in your house? Did you make a walk-in?
No. There's a bunch of I've got an end table cabinet thing.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
A bunch of different things in that room, so you kind of have to watch your step when you go in there.
I was gonna be jealous. I thought you converted the bedroom and they had a walk-in.
No. If you ever saw me with a hammer in my hand, you'd understand that that's never gonna happen. I'll hire somebody to do it, but
nice.
But I'm not building it. So yeah, I just was started that way. I got onto a bunch of different forums and started writing just about my experience, not really reviews, but just kind of what I was experiencing. And everybody said, "Hey, you should start a blog." I said, "Sure, what the hell? I'll start a blog. Simple." And I started a blog and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden it went kind of crazy. And it really is, man. Coop, you posted the other day that you had 500 straight days of posting new content, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know
that's insane.
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you can do that. That's amazing.
Well,
it's so much work.
Will has the magic cigar Coop elves, which
is that right?
Out. Yeah, that's a little known secret about Will.
I got a secret. Sleep is overrated. Yeah, I mean,
sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, no kidding.
How much do you sleep a night?
Not much. Last night was about 4 hours sleep.
Jesus.
Dude, I slept 10 last night, and I was sawing logs, bro. It felt great.
Yeah, and I had to get up early to be downtown today, so that wasn't fun either.
Yeah, I don't know. 4 hours is just that's not enough for me.
Dude, once you beat Cal Ripken's consecutive streak, we need to do a party.
Well, we can set the date. That's going to be what?
Can we do a countdown on your site? Put a ticker? That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
We may have to do that. But it's
I'll be dead by then.
I'll be dead by then.
I'm old.
So, guy, what is Cigar Federation? Tell everyone about it. I mean, we've talked about it on the show, but I want to hear it from you guys.
Cigar Federation is a little bit of everything. I mean, it's not just a blog. It's not just. It's a social media site. You guys can come on. Everybody who's on there right now, you can get in the chat rooms. We've got 30 people in the chat room that are all talking about the show right now. Anybody can come on and post. Anybody can come on and start conversations. We've got forums. We've got a live member HERF that people can go in and jump into a hangout on Google at any time of the day. It's always open. We've got a store on top of that that's still relatively new. Logan will get into more detail with that, I'm sure. We've got 3 or 4 shows almost every night of the week, including you guys.
3.
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, people can come here and get your news. We get all the breaking news, all the reviews and forum updates, all that stuff. So it's really kind of a one-stop shop, or at least that's what our goal is, to be kind of a one-stop shop for the new generation of cigar smoker that's looking for all the new information, all the new stuff.
Nice.
Does that cover it, Logan?
Yep. And then when we don't know the answer to anything, Coop just swoops in and answers it for us. So we've got Coop in the wings. That's all that matters.
Jeez, you guys.
Cigar Encyclopedia.
Pretty much, dude.
So, Logan, tell us a little bit about the store, because that's not something that everyone likes to take on, to become an online cigar retailer.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. If you would have caught me about 3 weeks ago, I probably would have been like, man, it's the best decision I ever made. And then now I'm like, man.
You should have talked to him yesterday.
This is kind of hard. This really is a lot of work. So, I mean, really where the idea and the thought came from, and I'll give you guys the whole download here, is that, when... Let's be honest here, is that there's really 2 types of smokers out there. There's the older generation who smokes kind of typically they're Macanudo, or they're one smoke, they have their favorite, and then there's a younger generation of smokers like all of us on this show, which I'd classify as cigar geeks, who want to smoke a different cigar every time. They want to experience, they want to know how it's every different, they want to buy limited releases, and we're trying to kind of appeal to that market, and where we kind of stood back and look, and there's really not a place on the internet where you can go and get what I would like to call kind of legit smokes at a quality price and know you're going to have good customer service from good guys in the industry that aren't going to like, shove it up your poop hole. They're going to take care of you, right? So when we were doing the store, it's kind of blown up beyond our expectations. I mean, I'm just frankly kind of shocked how much we've sold and how many customers we've had and how many signups for our Cigar of the Month Club we've had. But the idea was that, hey, we'll kind of leverage our community. We have kind of a built-in member base. We have these shows so we can advertise the product. But just because of the connections that Rob and I have and all of our mods and our members have across, different forums and different places, in social media, I mean, the word's kind of gotten out. So yeah, I mean, we've been just really blessed on our partnership with Delaware Cigars, being able to work with Gary Griffith and carry a lot of his inventory, so we don't have to warehouse, which has been kind of a blessing from a cash flow perspective.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so I was like, you're in your garage. Is that where your warehouse is with all your cigars, too?
No, unfortunately, in the state of Texas, you can't run a business out of your home, so you have to have a retail space. So we do have a retail space, not here in Austin, but in Dallas, where we do warehouse the few cigars that we do have. But as we grow and grow, I mean, plans could obviously change, and we'll see kind of how the road takes us. But yeah, I mean, we're just blessed with the partnership with Gary. We're getting more cigar stores in all the time. And I will say the one thing that has been a very good thing, and I think Rob would probably agree with this, if I was a new guy just starting a cigar store, it's probably even more frustrating because I'm like, well, why aren't people buying stuff? Like right off the bat, we've had customers, we have people that know us that bought stuff. But the biggest thing is that we kind of know what we want to carry. We know what goods, I mean, at least in my mind's eye, what a good cigar is and what we want to carry and what we don't. And a lot of the companies that we can't get from Gary direct, Rob and I already have relationships with these guys because of Cigar Chat, because of doing the reviews, because of being kind of in the media part of the industry for a while. Where when we say, hey, Terry Johnson, I want to carry your stuff. Will you drop ship it? And he's like, cool, no problem. I'd love to. Where most guys would be like, well, who are you? You're this guy. What do you do? Get to like the third degree, and we haven't gotten that. So we've been really, really fortunate in that respect, and we just really appreciate all the business and traffic and, the response we've had thus far. So
Nice.
It's been interesting. I've learned a lot about online marketing, which has been kind of fun, like SEO and all that kind of nonsense.
In a backwards way.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got ready, fire, aim down to a science, man.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Nice.
Just throw it against the wall, see if it sticks, and luckily it kind of has, thus far.
So, what kind of cigars you guys like to smoke? Like, what's kind of like in your main wheelhouse?
From when you say that, do you mean like profile wise, or
Yeah, like specific brands.
The stuff that I reach for the most, I smoke a lot of Crowned Heads. I have a severe man crush on John Hubert. It's just out there. It gets a little awkward when we have him on the show. Because I just kind of stare at him. It's a little bit awkward, but smoke a lot of Ezra Zion stuff. I smoke a lot of. Lately, I've been smoking a lot of El Cedro. I really like that cigar out of the Kellner Boutique Factory. That's a new release. Came out at IPCPR as well. What else? I mean, for the most part, I feel like I'm smoking something different every day, which isn't really anything to complain about.
What about you, Logan?
I mean, I think it's kind of all the same. Like, there's not too much in the House of Emilio that I don't like, except for the Nomad Classic, which is okay because I've told Fred that it sucks and I don't like it, so I can tell him on there. Hey, but I love his other two cigars, so that's okay. But yeah, I mean, I really like the stuff in the House of Emilio. I mean, I do like the TL Johnson kind of Tempio and the Legend Reserve 63. I mean, I can't go wrong with Liga stuff or any of the Unico stuff. And really, another thing, I really like Roma Craft, all the Roma Craft stuff, because I think Skipper and I's and profiles very similar. Because I've done
what's interesting? We were talking about that before the show.
Yeah,
and that's definitely in our list of things to come back to and smoke more of. So, which is going to be our segment later on tonight.
Okay.
Which hopefully you guys can stick around for that. That'd be great.
Which one?
Well, we're gonna do a segment later on that we're gonna talk about stuff that we want to smoke, and I think some of that's driven by I picked up a catalog from an online retailer, and it was one that I don't order from too often. But I was flipping through the catalog. I'm like, well, I really want to smoke that stuff in there, and then I was kind of going through it with Will, and then my time off smoking has driven my list to grow even longer of stuff because I
Right.
can't smoke. So the time I'd spend smoking, I spend cleaning out my humidor and looking online for stuff that I want to smoke when I can again. So, so I've got a pretty lengthy list. But Roma Craft was definitely on that list. Are there other brands that you haven't mentioned that? Like, there's a couple that come to mind for me that we've talked about that you're like, I have this in my local shop, and I've smoked through a bunch of his different lines, and they're so awesome. And then you start talking about them on the forums, on the chat, on your show, and people are like, "Holy crap, that's a great cigar! I'd never heard of it before." What brands for you kind of do that to your listeners or subscribers?
Huh, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
I think it's funny, and Logan and I actually talk about this occasionally. We've on Cigar Chat and on the Cigar Federation, we're kind of surrounded by that small percentage of the cigar smoking public, I guess you'd say, that is really focused on trying everything that's new.
Yeah.
And it's so I don't know that when I'm talking with the people in the chat room or whatever, if that is the case where I can say, hey, I've tried this and nobody's going to know what it is. If I go to my local lounge, it's a different story. Because a lot of the stuff that we're smoking, they don't carry.
Yeah,
that's
what I found.
My local lounge doesn't have crowned heads.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow,
I mean, for
really?
me, that's a sin.
must. That's absolutely.
So yeah, I guess to answer your question, it kind of depends on who I'm hanging out with.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the one thing that I talk the most about that I feel like people look at me a little bit weird or like, hey, where can I get more information on that is the El Cedro.
Mm-hmm.
Recently.
I even like that.
Yeah, Logan and I never agree.
And we agree.
Yeah, Logan, what about for you?
Have you ever heard of the Heteros di Robania? You probably haven't because it's a mystery.
I
Coop,
haven't,
I know
but I bet you Will probably has.
I know Coop has, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've talked. Logan and I were talking about this.
Oh, well, because it was funny because we were
a short conversation.
It's a short conversation. I know. Well, because we were writing the product descriptions for the store, right? And I've learned that you just can't copy and paste them off manufacturers' websites. One, because that's kind of illegal, and then two, it doesn't really help SEO at all. So you have to custom write them. So I dare anyone to go out and Google Hedros di Robania and try to find anything about this cigar. And I even made a joke that I was like, dude, I went to Cigar Coop. I couldn't find it. And I was like, if I can't find it on Cigar Coop, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. I couldn't find anything. Like, there's nothing. And apparently, and it's not that I know, apparently there's like this major conspiracy going on here. But it's some very well-respected dude in the cigar or gal, I don't know, in the cigar industry that made the cigar. It's distributed by House of Emilio, but works for another company. And it's apparently completely hush-hush. Nobody knows who it is except for Gary and a few other people. And when you go out, you can't find any wrapper, binder, filler information. Hell, you can barely find the price. I just made that up. I mean, I don't even know what it sold at. But when I smoked it, I was expecting a total dog rocket. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I couldn't find anything. When I smoked it, both Rob and I don't know if we smoked at the same time, Rob, or like within a couple hours of each other, but we were both like, dude, this was pretty good. Like, if they would just put a little bit of marketing behind that thing, I think it would do awesome. Though that was one cigar recently that I've had that experience with.
Yeah, I think for me, and I don't know if you're going to agree, that the brand for us, and Will and I talked about this, and I want to see if Stogie Santa feels the same way, that the brand for us that we smoke, that I think we've really turned people on to, and I'm so glad we've gotten a lot of feedback, is Paul Gamarian.
Yeah, PG.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's because, some people don't have that readily available in their local
I'll
shop.
tell you, there's another one that we're going to turn a lot of people on. It's turning heads is Debonair.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's another one, too.
That's a cigar that's it's going to be a big year coming up.
When you gave me that cigar, Stogie Santa, you called it. That's all I got to say. That was
and you know what I
great
like, and I
stuff.
was talking with Mark Jr. about this, and Logan, I want you to weigh in on this too. A lot of times you have this preconceived notion of Dominican tobacco, right?
Yep.
And you're like, it's usually mild and has a maybe grassy flavor or a certain flavor profile. And there are a few manufacturers that can really kick out a Dominican stick that just breaks all the boundaries of your preconceived notions.
You'll never know. I mean, they worked out hard not to know it's a Dominican. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Mhm.
It's true. And you know, and I think that's why we all are kind of like stogie geeks, right? Like, I mean, when it comes down to it, we want to find out, we want to see how everything's different, we want to understand why. And I think that's where the industry is going. And I think that manufacturers that figure that out and realize that they're playing, well, not maybe not unfortunate, but playing to our kind of demographic and our taste profile, and companies that do that are going to be very successful. The ones that don't, unfortunately, probably won't be around too long.
It's gonna be like
So,
craft beers. There's like 400 people coming out and 390 of them not sticking around.
Yeah.
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 Yep,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It's true. It's true.
You know, another one that now you think about it, Paul, and I only got turned on to this because of catfish. Because catfish, the thing about catfish is that once he gets hooked on to a cigar, he just won't shut the hell up
He
about
really
it.
won't shut up.
Oh, he won't. Like, that's all you hear about. And it was like that with, you know, Regis and all the stuff from the Kellner Boutique Factory, which, I mean, it was all right. I mean, I did like the El Cedro, but one that he turned us on to, and I think it was a hidden gem from IPCPR that he did an interview with. And I was like, who is this again? Like, who? It was Brune Del Rey.
Hey, Coop, what did I tell you?
Wow.
Huh?
It's funny
Dude.
you say that, Logan.
that.
It was, dude, I didn't realize Costa Rican tobacco was so good.
But-
I
Oh
really
my!
didn't know.
So
Wow.
it's right before the show, Logan. I have a gigantic bag of Brune Del Rey samples, and I was talking about with Stogie Santa, making
Yeah.
sure that he had enough to smoke, because we've talked about what will 3 or 4 of their sticks in the past, because we wanted to make sure we smoked. They were very generous and sent us a
Yeah.
ton of samples, and we've been smoking through them. And our general consensus is we really like that cigar.
Just like,
all
just
the
like
ones
you
we've
said,
had,
this
yeah.
Costa Rican tobacco is awesome. It really
We
is.
smoked a lot of the more mild profiles, and I tell you what, with coffee in the morning, those things are
It was pretty
awesome.
legit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Great
pretty legit.
construction. Great construction.
yeah,
on it.
I
they
can
burn
believe
great.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. That one is one that shocked me, because usually Catfish and I don't agree. And when I smoked, I was like, "Damn, son, Costa Rican tobacco." All right.
And where do you get those now? Well, we might have talked about it in a previous show. Will, do you know? Do you?
Costa
When I
Rica.
talked to,
Brune de
I
Rey.
talked to the folks. They're actually trying to get a foothold in the states. Now, there's a few stores in Florida that I believe have them, but for the most part, they're trying to build up their U.S. presence right now. So there's not a lot of places you can get it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know if they'll hit the market for the show. When I was in the DR, there's a gentleman that I know. Well, his grandfather was the owner of Davidoff. Is a cigar that's going to come out. It's called Patoro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, he's gonna try to get someone to distribute that cigar. I'll tell you something. If he gets to the market, if he gets to the show next year, that's going to be talked about. What a cigar! Unbelievable.
Interesting.
And that's another one that's made in the DR, and you'll never know it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what Logan and Rob, what do you guys like to smoke if you want to spend $20 or $30 on a cigar? What are you guys reaching for in that price range? And do you find that when you talk about stuff like that, people kind of there's a little outrage associated with it, right? When you talk about that in the media, because it's not a cigar everyone's going to smoke every day. But what are you guys smoking for in those on the high end?
I don't.
I mean, for me, like I don't really reach for the $30 cigars. I mean,
The South
If-
African
if I'm smoking something, if I'm celebrating something or whatever, I mean, my go-to celebratory cigar would be Padron 64
There you
Maduro
go.
for
Yeah.
me.
There you go.
I mean, it's not a $30 cigar, but I mean, I'd probably pay
well,
that.
it can be. It can be.
Dominican?
Yeah, sure.
You can spend
It can
$30
be.
on a Padron Anniversario, 46, 45th,
Yeah,
80th.
Yeah.
sure.
I'd pay more than $30 for Jessica Padron. Cha-chun-chun. That was just a joke. Come
If
on,
it- like,
people.
if
there
Everyone
were-
knows I love her.
Crickets.
Dude,
No.
I love her, man.
No one wants
Hey,
to weigh in on that, Logan.
Nah.
We're all being.
Hey, just stay
Gentlemen.
away. Just
So-
stay away from her.
The queen.
Now you've totally lost my train of thought
That's it. Because we think about
Derail.
the cigar.
because I'm thinking about Padron cigars now.
Yeah,
and how much
right,
I want to
yeah,
smoke a
yeah.
Padron cigar.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Oh.
Bryce has.
I
no
don't know.
boundaries.
I mean, I don't know about me. I mean, frankly, I do smoke quite a bit because I work from home and have a lot of flexibility in my job. So if I didn't, if this was my first cigar of the day, even though I was kind of at the office in a convention all day, I think this is second or third. If I like Coop had my first one, it'd be rare. So I normally don't smoke a lot of high end stuff. I mean, I think if I was gonna go for something crazy and just be like, bamf, I'm gonna just go for it. Probably I mean, definitely a Padron 64, but I would try to gravitate more towards like the rare and limited stuff, like try to get my hands on, some of the older Monster series, the Halloween series from like Tatuaje, or just, stuff that you can't really find more just because if I haven't smoked it, that's what I'd rather spend my money on than something I've already smoked.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point. What about on the other end of the spectrum? What about like a budget $4 or $5 type cigar?
Roma Craft.
Oh, absolutely.
Seriously, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, are they
I
really
got a man
priced in
crush.
the?
I got a man crush on Roma Craft. A lot of people just don't understand that cigar. I'm telling you, I'm trying to work this back here in Rhode Island, and it's picking up slowly. It really is.
I noticed the Intemperance is getting a lot of buzz,
And I like
and
the
some of the
Accutane.
lists that I've been seeing of people's top cigars for 2013, they're already starting to trickle out. Intemperance is on a lot of those lists.
Well, that released in 2012,
Mm-hmm.
so people are behind the game.
Or maybe
But
some of
Roma
their
Craft didn't
newer
really
ones.
release anything this year. I mean, other than the Framordian, which was the Candela wrapped
Right.
Femur.
from Agnan,
Yeah, the
and then
Femur.
that freaking man,
Yeah, we got
beast.
some of those coming in just for
Yeah.
conversation.
Guys, that
with me.
Fomorian is the best Candela I've ever had.
I love the Lugione Candela.
Yeah, I bought a box of
yeah.
Illusion
Well,
Candela.
I tell you, the Fomorian is at a level, and I've had someone was
Wait,
kind enough
so-
to gift me one. It is unbelievable.
What is this monster cigar coming out from?
Well, we're getting those in next week.
What is that?
That's a femur. It's about as long
Oh,
as
we got to
mine.
get Stogie Santa to smoke one on the show.
So what's the size on that?
Oh,
Gigantic.
crazy. It's
like
It's
10
like a-
inches by
Yeah.
like 128 ring
yeah.
gauge or something
What?
ridiculous.
oh yeah, it'd be
Team
like
smoke.
Linda Lovelace time. I'll
I
tell you.
gotta, I gotta have one of those in my
Dallas,
here.
bro. Exactly.
One of my humidors has a glass
Oh,
door.
hey.
It'd be kind of cool to like just put that cigar somehow it's suspended in front of the door. That'd be cool.
I just let that Accutane, that EMH. I love that cigar. I really do. Great smoke.
Yep.
Great smoke.
I love all their stuff.
Me too. I agree. I agree
don't know how it's
wholeheartedly.
that cheap,
Yeah,
frankly.
the price point on those things is unbelievable.
Mhm.
When you're talking about the quality of smoke. And same thing with Ortega Serie D.
Yeah.
The price range on that is, I mean,
You can't
they're
beat it.
it's pretty damn good for that price range, and it's just a good cigar to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree with those. I mean, one thing that I reach for that's a little more mainstream as kind of a regular everyday smoke is the Tatuaje Havana.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just the Noblest. You get
Yep.
those for
Yeah.
$3 or $4 or whatever.
That's a great stick.
Yeah, it's you're not gonna it's not gonna win any contests or anything like that, but it's a solid cigar that's good every time I have it.
Yeah. Now, what about regular production cigars? A lot of us spend our time, all of us spend our time smoking all the new stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
True.
like, what about the regular production stuff that's coming out that's really not new, that's maybe been around for a while, that you go back and smoke and like, wow, like I haven't smoked one of these in a while, and it's really awesome.
We did this the other day. Logan, we were on what show was that?
I
On
don't
the show we
Oh,
smoked.
Stogie
Well,
411.
we smoked 4 kicks,
Yeah.
and and I'm a Crown Heads guy. I mean, we've already said it, but
Yeah.
they're always coming out with something new. The 4 kicks a long time ago. I mean, that's old to me. And then now you've got the Headley Grange, the drumstick, and you got the JD Howard. So I'm always focused on those. Went back and smoked the 4 kicks for the first time in maybe
You
a
got
year.
the picture of the 4 kicks, the box I sold you on that.
Yeah. I got a box of 4 kicks, and it was covered in plume. I mean, covered in plume. There's pictures in the Stogie's website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great cigar that you kind of forget about because everything else that they've done since then has always
True.
been great.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I
anyway.
like the Vinos by EPC, $4.25.
What are they called?
The Vino, the
New Wave.
New Waves. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the New Wave Connecticut?
Yeah,
Oh, that's my jam.
I'll
can
tell you,
get-
I love that smoke all day long.
it's good.
$4.25.
I like
You
the
can-
Cardinal and the
Mm-hmm.
Natural
Yeah.
and Maduro.
Yeah, that's a good smoke.
And
too.
those you can get really cheap.
Yeah, those you're looking at 4 and change, $5.
Yeah.
Best
Oh,
cigar.
yeah,
on the-
Undercrown too. Undercrown too is another one.
The only thing I like on Undercrown is the Corona
That
Viva.
Viva,
I
yeah.
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
That's the only one
Yeah,
that really does
The
something
Viva,
for
exactly.
me.
I'm going to tell you a really embarrassing story. Is that I go through these waves where like I fall in love with a cigar and then literally it's not the only thing I smoke, but it becomes about, I don't know, 75% of what I smoke. And I recently had a love affair like about a year and a half ago with the Cro-Magnon mandibles. before they in their original production when they had the darker Maduro wrapper. I literally probably smoked 150 of those, and then I was kind of a lost puppy for a little while, and I didn't find one, and then I found the Ezra Zion Inception, recently renamed Jamais Vu, and I hate to admit this, but at IPCPR I probably smoked 25 of those.
At least,
I got
dude, you smoked
more,
more
and
than
I've
that.
smoked probably another 25 count bundle. That is just one cigar that if I could only smoke one cigar the rest of my life, which I would never do, but if I had to, if I was forced to with a gun at my head, that would be it.
Nice.
I just
Nice.
freaking love that cigar. And the Corona Gorda Vitola, it just, I don't know, it does something to me. I love it.
So Logan and Rob, I'm going to go around to some of the things that we've talked about on the Stogie Geeks, and I want to hear what you say. So, in the past, we've talked about. We'll keep it to the top 2 or 3 Cuban cigars you like to smoke.
I don't smoke many.
I always have
really
bad
don't.
luck. I have bad luck with Cubans.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the only time I've really smoked smoked a bunch, I guess, would be when I was on my honeymoon and I was over in I was in Spain and in Paris, and they were just everywhere, so I was picking them up all the time. The Partagas Series D number 4 is kind of a cliche, but
staple.
And the Mani number 2, I mean, also a cliche, but I mean, those are the ones that I reached for. I went down to Mexico just recently, and there was a Partagas lounge in the resort that we were staying at, and I went in, and they had the prices were just so outrageous.
Yeah, they rape you.
Yeah, so I couldn't. I mean, I wasn't going to spend, like $60 on a Beheki, so it just wasn't going to happen. I mean, yeah, those are probably the mainstays for me. Catfish always tries to turn me on to a few different things, but I mean, I feel like we've got so much good stuff that is readily available that I'm not going to go out of my way to try to find other things. I guess that's my answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I'll tell you a really funny story is that, and this wasn't me, but my previous boss in my job, we had like a team builder over at his house, and he's like, my boss knew that I smoked cigars, and he was trying to be friendly. We're out on his porch, just drinking beers, hanging out, and he's like, dude, you'll never guess what I got. And I was like, what do you got? What do you got, bud? And I won't say his name.
Glass top box of Cohibas.
You're damn right. He brought it out. He's passing out the glass tops of Cohibas, and I'm just like, oh, damn it. Like I'm gonna have to smoke this. Like I don't want to. I might be smoking like a, part of a Tonka truck. I have no idea what I'm gonna be smoking here. But I did. I smoked it, and I suffered through it. But everyone there was like, oh my God, this is just so great. That Cohiba. And I'm just like, dudes, you just don't even know. And I think a lot of Cuban, it's the allure of Cuban tobacco. It's kind of like that hot girl in high school you can never have. It's kind of like that. And, when I go to Europe, I mean, the last time I was in Belgium, in Brussels, right off their kind of Grand Place area, there's a really cool cigar shop there. And I think the things that I gravitate more, I really like the Romeo and Julieta, I don't know if you guys have had it, but it's called the Wide Churchill.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that.
The Wide Churchill.
It's actually
pretty good.
Short. It's a short.
It's short.
Yeah, right.
But it's kind of fat. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that. And then the Partagas number 4, of course. But another thing, and I mean, when I'm feeling like all, American yuppie, dude, I'll just grab a little short Corona, H. Upman. And I just feel like I'm JFK, just rocking it,
Nice.
But I don't know. I mean, I have several in the humidor, and hell, I've made mistakes because I mean, Catfish is like the Cuban connoisseur. So anytime it's like, is this fake? I send it to him, and he's all over it, right? But I mean, hell, I've even made mistakes like on a verification trade on a forum. I was trying to be a nice guy and sent the guy some Cohibas. They were fake, and I didn't even know I even had it verified. So. I would just rather instead of, if I can get them when I'm traveling and stuff, then yeah, I'll smoke them. But there's just so much other good stuff out there, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. Along those lines, Logan, I had some Behikes, and if you looked at them, you would swear it was a Behike. I mean, I showed Stogie Santa, and he's like, dude, that looks legit. Like, it passed the visual test without question, right? I mean,
it was a great knockoff band.
It was a great knockoff band. Or they got the real bands and put it on whatever it else was I smoked, but it wasn't a Behike.
I know, it wasn't a Behike.
But it wasn't bad either.
Oh,
which was
some
kind
of
of
these
funny.
knockoffs, they spend so much. Just release it for what it is.
Yeah, it was a good cigar. I like to smoke it. I'm just like, this isn't a Behike. I let
Yeah.
Stogie Santa take a draw, and he's like, "No, it's not a Bahia."
No,
We don't often share cigars around here, but that was a time where it
Hey,
had to be
now.
done. Had to be done.
When
Hey,
you
now.
when you're
Hey, you
blending,
got
that's all
to.
you do is share cigars.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey now. Hey Logan, what was that one we smoked at IPCPR? That our
Oh,
friend
that was
brought us.
the Hoya de Monterrey.
Which one?
It was, I don't know, it was
Oh.
like a Churchill. It had the white and red and gold label.
Mm.
And it has like a bit badass like dragon on it or something. Or whatever it's got, or the griffin. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
the weird
yeah.
thing
Yep.
on it. I don't know what it is. I have the band somewhere.
It was
But
good.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I like that one. Whatever it was.
So what about Ecuadorian Connecticut's? You know, I think they kind of get
Roma Craft.
yeah. I mean, they get not a bad reputation, but you know, I think with a lot of our tribe, as it were, right? You know, not a lot of us really reach for Connecticut's. We find them they're not as flavorful as a lot of the other stronger cigars, and we kind of struggle to find Connecticut in a mild cigar that we like. But I think we all kind of have that short list. If we're going to smoke something first thing in the morning with coffee, and it's a Connecticut, what is that?
It's a
Yeah,
short list for me.
That Roma Craft and Temperance for sure.
Oh,
I'll
Lordy.
tell you, the Paul Gamarians, they are something.
Well, yeah, the aged ones.
The aged ones
yeah.
are off the charts.
All that
I-
short
I don't
Robusto
have
is
many left, but
friggin-
I tell you,
I have
I've
one
never-
freaking short Robusto left,
Oh.
and I wish I had a cab
I'll
of
tell
50
you,
of
those
them.
I-
Paul Gamarian is a great guy. He really is in his own right. But as we are today with the media, he's so anti social media. If he ever took to the media outlets, this cigar could explode.
Absolutely.
Explode.
I
But
agree.
he's just. I sat down with him at a great. This man's incredible. He's played with Louis Armstrong. He knows different people. He could read back of a cereal box and keep you interested. He's just incredible. He's just got a wealth of knowledge, but he hates it. He hates anything about social media. He hates anything about new releases. It's insane. That cigar, his it's called the Gourmet series.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But
Oh.
it isn't it something? Oh, exactly.
It's
These
good.
guys turned me on to Paul Gamarian, and
Yeah.
wow, I'm
We're
real.
gonna send some out to you. I'll send some out to you.
It pays to have a Stogie Center.
It pays
need
to
a
have a
Stogie
Stogie
Santa.
Santa in your life. That's if we ever do T-shirts. That may be the
Yeah.
slogan on the back.
That's
Oh.
pretty good. That is solid. That is.
Oh.
Now,
Then
now
what
Paul
about you guys, Rob? What about you, in Connecticut's? What do you like?
Paul wrote a book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I actually have his book, but I've never smoked any of his cigars. I wanted to make sure that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about the same
Yeah,
person.
what we'll do, I'll put a little 5-pack and I'll send it out to you guys and of different ones.
Done.
And it's really good. It's just unique. The problem with Paul is just that he keeps it at a local scenario. It really is.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's a hidden gem.
It truly,
truly
is.
a hidden
It
gem.
Truly. The Corona Reserva, unbelievable.
His price point's higher, but the stuff is good
Yeah,
quality.
it's good
It
quality.
really is.
His gourmet series is insane. It's a retarded price what he wants, but when you get him, if you know the right people, you're all set. You know what I mean?
You know Santa.
Yeah, if you know Santa, you're
If you
all
know Santa, exactly. I'm sad that I can't see Stogie Santa.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I got a face for behind the camera.
face for radio.
Yeah,
Face for radio.
absolutely. That's
But I'm picturing a great outfit.
oh yeah, absolutely.
But I just was okay to get back. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Ecuadorian
Yeah.
Connecticut's.
Off the top of my head, the Connecticut's that I go to, and I can't. I'm off the top of my head. I don't know if it's the AKA Solace. I don't know if
That's
it's
a great
Ecuadorian
cigar.
I
Connecticut or
never
not.
had that. How is
Yeah,
it?
that is.
Is
But
it-
I do. That's one of my favorites of their line. Although the
Oh,
Nth
yeah.
Degree, I don't know if you guys have tried that. Off
Oh,
topic, because it's
God.
not. That's a great smoke. I really like that one. But the what other Connecticut's do I smoke?
I'll tell you the Jaime Reserve. That's a nice one.
Yeah, I haven't had that one.
That's really he did a great job with that. That's spectacular.
Jaime Garcia.
Yeah, he
think
put
I've
out
had
a Connecticut one. First, that was his second release that he did on the Reserve.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Really, that's probably one of the tops in my book.
It's been a weak year for Ecuadorian Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been a weak year for that, you know.
Mhm.
And a couple years ago, you could have said it was a very strong year, but I think this year it's been a weak year. There hasn't been that new Ecuadorian Connecticut that's come out that's really been wow.
No,
You know, the Intemperance was last year, actually.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it did seem like last year everybody was coming out with a Connecticut.
yeah,
yeah.
Mm.
But this year, I mean, Room 101 did a Connecticut. I don't remember
It's a good cigar.
I don't
Sorry.
remember liking that one that much.
Me either. I got to disagree on that, Coop. It kind of like, I forgot about that real quick.
Well, you have to put that two. So it's
Forgot
only two
about it.
cigars so far, Stogie saying that's all.
Yeah, I know.
So Logan, other than the New Wave Connecticut, which one would you reach for?
I mean, Rob kind of stole my thunder on that. That's why I wanted to go first. But yeah, I mean, definitely the Roma Craft for sure, the New Wave, the AK for sure, and then there was another Connecticut that I smoked recently, and I don't know. I remember adding it because I don't like Connecticut's, and I remember adding it to my list of smokes. God, what was it? I'll have to go back and look, but I don't remember.
You know,
but,
it was the Connecticut. Sorry, Logan, I totally cut you off. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
no,
finish
go
your
ahead.
thought.
No, just finish.
The
Go ahead.
the oval, the San Latano oval
Yes.
Connecticut was good.
Not the oval. Yeah, the new
Or the-
one. That's what it.
And the Lancero, but I don't remember. I don't know if that's Ecuadorian or not.
I'm sorry, Stogie's saying is sometimes not shy about cigars he doesn't that don't fit his flavor profile.
Right. Thank you.
You didn't like it?
No. I
Really?
I wasn't a big fan.
The
Yeah,
Habano,
I enjoyed
Habano
it.
Lancero is good.
Habano,
with
the
San Latano.
Habano,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it was. That was.
That's like the worst one in my opinion.
Yeah. There you go.
Well,
That's
there
what,
you go, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what makes cigar smoking so unique.
It's true. It's
Yep.
true. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, Connecticut's, I think, and this is my personal opinion, is I think if you want to make a cigar and have the chance that most people are going to hate it, make a Connecticut.
Right.
And
It's
you know,
true.
honestly,
Yeah, it's true. But you know what the big thing is? I think Connecticut has a spot to be smoked.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the morning
Sure.
with a black cup of coffee. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
other than that, I got no other use for it. I really don't. it's useless.
How do you-
I'd agree. I'd
All
agree
right.
with you.
You know, on that note, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about what we've been smoking lately, and we'll do that, and we'll be right back.